Hi, my name is Mike Perez. Welcome back to Mastering the Young Band. Today I want to talk about teaching your students how to enter the room calmly and quietly. What I've discovered in my teaching career is when students come into the band room calm and quiet, it's such a more productive rehearsal. If they come in rambunctious, yelling, screaming, all that kind of stuff, it creates an atmosphere where your students are not going to concentrate well, and it can typically be a pretty frustrating rehearsal. If you can train your students to walk into your band room in a calm and a quiet manner, it's amazing what that does to the energy level and the eventual focus in your classroom. For most young band students, they're coming out of a passing period into your classroom. And of course, if you walk into any hallway in a middle school, junior high, or late elementary school, you know that it can be a pretty loud situation, and you want the students not to create that chaos in your classroom. So what I do on the first day of school, I have my students actually meet me in the cafeteria. My band room is just down from the cafeteria. I have a white erase board sign that just says, band members, make sure you have your planner and come sit in the cafeteria. So students sit down at the cafeteria tables, I get everybody collected, and then I greet them and I talk about how band is different. When you walk into a band room, you have to walk in calmly and quietly. And so I say is in a moment, we're gonna walk into the band room. There's gonna be a Google slide up on the TV that's gonna tell you exactly where you're gonna sit, what you're gonna do, but you need to walk in a calm and a quiet fashion. So I say, okay, follow me. We walk into the band room. I go to the front and I don't say anything. I see how they do. 90% of the time, the class comes in, they read the board. I even have, again, please thank you for entering calmly and quietly. And most of the time they do a great job. However, I have had classes, despite that conversation in the cafeteria, they come in and there's kids that are rambunctious or they're talking loud. I go, oh, I'm sorry, everybody, we need to do that again. So let's go back to the cafeteria. We go sit down again, and I go, let me reinforce what it's going to look like when you walk in the band room. And then we try it again. I've never had a class after that second time not do well on the second time. So teaching your kids how to come in calmly and quietly from day one, really, really important. Now, you can't be done just with one day. The second day of band, especially for my first year, my beginners, we do it again. We go back to the cafeteria. We start in the cafeteria the second day, and we do it again. We talk about how do you come into the band room calmly and quietly. Okay, let's try it. And I reinforce it. Usually by the third day, I don't say anything. I just have it up on the board. And same thing, if they do a great job, I will tell them, hey, good job coming in calmly and quietly. If they come in with a lot of noise and rambunctious, I'll stop and go, whoop, stop everybody. Okay, let's head back in the hallway. Let's try that again. And we actually do it again. Doing that a couple of times at the beginning of the year really establishes and teaches your students that that's an expectation you're going to hold them to. And it's not a negative expectation, and it's something that the kids will meet really well. Now, just a heads up, if you've never tried this before, you are going to have to reinforce with your students quite frequently at the beginning of the year. Here's how we come in, and it's not something you can ever drop. You're going to have to reinforce this throughout the school year. On those days where they come in and they're loud and rambunctious, you take them back out in the hallway and you do it again. So I can't tell you how important this one thing is to creating a positive culture in your classroom by having them come in calmly and quietly. It's amazing how that just really sets the tone for your classroom. Now, just a side note, I do not let my kids play their instruments when they walk into my band room. They come in, they get set up, and then we start pretty quickly, usually 1 minute after the passing period. But I don't let any of my bands, even my top band, they don't get to play when they walk in, just to help reinforce that calm and quiet atmosphere. I usually start the metronome and then we're off. So try that. If you've never really held your students to that expectation of coming in calmly and quietly, try it. You'll be surprised at how it really sets the tone for your rehearsal and how much more calm your kids will be at that point. So hope you find that helpful. Make sure you check out my resources, MikePerezBand.com, Mastering the Young Band, and take care.